important to remember that these simple practices of knotting fiber together or weaving fiber together, that as we engage in these arts, we are creating something that is tied to historic traditions that go back really to the Neolithic period, and that we're making these things is not only for our bodies, but there's very much something soulful and cellularly charged about this work. So it is the work of our ancestors. And just to refrain on the problem statement, I'll go through this briefly because I know this is a proactive group who wants to focus on the solutions. But we do have a challenge when we are purchasing clothing from mainstream sources, from kind of the larger global industrial models. 80% of the workers in the industry are women, but the top 15 grossing international fast fashion brands, none of these companies have female CEOs. There's a lot of inequity in the system that goes down to the milling. Here's, GMO cotton being milled in Bangladesh, and we really only have 1% guarantee on all the clothing made globally in this multiple trillion dollar industry. Only 1% of the garments are considered fair trade, which means we're giving people a wage that's commensurate with a living wage for their culture and community. And we don't really have verification that this is happening on 99% of the clothes that are purchased. And so really it comes down to this. There's an anonymity in the supply chain. We don't really know who, what, where, and why. We know why. We're consuming it. We want to consume it. But for the consumer, it is virtually impossible to know whether a product was manufactured in safe conditions. And this is the Rana Plaza factory, where a sewing factory collapsed and killed 1,100 people in Bangladesh. I believe this was in 2013. The other thing we have to just consider in our clothing